All right, guys, what could you do with all your extra time if you quit marijuana? By the end of this video, you'll have a better idea of what you could be doing with all your spare time if you decide to put down the weed, or if you are in the process of putting down the weed. So it may not feel like it in the moment, but weed takes a lot of time. It's a huge time suck. When I got sober and I look back at how much time I was spending using marijuana, getting marijuana, thinking about marijuana, it was quite jarring because I was like, oh my gosh, like most of my day was spent around weed. Everything else was just everything else was just like a filler to fill the time before I could get high again. So when I quit, I found I had loads of free time and I was productive with it. I had things to do, but I think having a better strategy of all the things I could be allocating my time for would have been better. I put probably too much time into working and I developed a bit of a work addiction. So now I look for more of a balanced life. I don't think the true definition of balance exists. I think everything is always in flux. Everything ebbs and flows. Sometimes things are leaning more towards one way than the other. In totality, though, it's better to have a more even keeled life where you're putting a little here, there. So that's kind of what we're going to talk about today. So to touch on some pain points, I want you to ask yourself how much time you're spending a day smoking weed or thinking about weed or getting weed, whatever it may be. It might be alarming. Weed is smoking weed is an investment into your wallet, into your future, your past, all the above, because you're just prolonging things and just numbing yourself out. And in quitting weed, it's cool to think about all the things that you can discover and find out for yourself about who you are, create new opportunities for yourself, etc. So a few good things you can do when you get sober and you have all this free time. The first one is start working towards a career path. Most people I see that are in marijuana recovery are not where they want to be in their careers. Maybe they're working a job they don't like. Maybe they stop school. Who knows what it could be? I didn't finish school. I stopped 3 times. Each time was to pursue my career in music. But yeah, I make money today online and I don't need a degree. It's just not necessary anymore unless you're going obviously into medical or something like that where you do need one. But unless you're doing that, unless your real goal, it's not necessary. In that case, then you can start working towards one, saving some income, getting a job that's going to pay the bills, allow you to have time to work on your side hustles. You've probably heard that term before, side hustle. So this is the thing that's going to start bringing you in revenue. That's not going to take over your full-time job, but it's still going to supplement you while you start to build that more and more and more. So eventually you can let go of your full-time job or whatever it is. I worked a ton of kind of grind jobs. Like I worked at Target, I worked at Whole Foods. I worked for like Instacart and Amazon and all those things. I did delivery. So I was really in the weeds with, pun intended, with those kind of jobs, right? And they weren't super fulfilling. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't wake up excited to go to Target every day. What it did though is it gave me the free time afterwards to work on my passions. So with the delivery jobs anyway, those are a great thing to do because you can listen to podcasts while you're working essentially. You can obviously, like if you're doing Instacart or whatever, you can do your grocery shopping while you're at the store grocery shopping for someone else. So you can get 2 for 1 in. And then in the meantime, be consuming content, learning how to grow a business, whatever it might be. And then for me too, a lot of the videos you saw in the beginning of my channel were during breaks from the Instacart or Amazon delivery, right? What's nice about those jobs is there's no set schedule. So you can just so you can hop in, work when you want, and then dip out. In doing that and creating my own schedule, I could do whatever I wanted. So a lot of the times I would go to a park and shoot a YouTube video. Even sometimes between deliveries, if I was in a really nice area, I would stop and set up my camera and shoot a video. So that really helped me kind of build my side hustle while making money at the same time. And obviously, now I'm speaking to you here today. So it has come full circle. It will take time though. So you got to be patient and it doesn't happen overnight. But if you continuously put day and day effort in over and over throughout, days, weeks, months, years, you will discover that you can create a new life for yourself. Maybe you don't have a car and you can't do delivery stuff. Well, find a job that's going to be maybe a little more relaxed where you can, pay your bills, but then you can go home and work on the other things you want to do, creating businesses, whether music, whatever that passion is for you, you'll get the free time to do it. The next thing you can do with all that free time is to start getting healthy, getting into shape, working on your food, diet, clean eating, etc. This all takes time to learn. And it does take time, obviously, to go to the gym and stuff. When you can start implementing it into your day, it becomes a no-brainer. It's like, I have to do this. I have to do this over anything else in my life because it's so important for me to be happy and healthy. So really cleaning up the diet, right? Learning about eating clean foods, whether low carb is right for you, working on cutting out the sugars, the processed stuff. That is a journey in itself, and it can cause mood swings if you're in that process of detoxing from the bad foods. You will feel really good after, of course, but there's a period of that. exercise, right? Starting to go to the gym regularly. You're going to have again, you're spending a hour waiting for your dealer to come. That's an hour you could be in the gym, getting fit, pumping iron, going for a run, etc. I love lifting. I've been lifting since I was 14. I'm just a really skinny guy. So it's hard for me to put on muscle, like really hard. Like I've eat like 6,000 calories a day for like 3 months to put on some weight. And then I lose it because it's not sustainable. So I'm definitely working on slowly building muscle and weight over time. That's just kind of my body type. And I love exercise, and it's always going to be a part of my, as long as I can walk and lift. And again, it is a possibility that one day I get injured and I don't get to exercise anymore. But as long as that doesn't happen, I'm going to be continuing to go to the gym and working out. Now that I'm not smoking weed, and now that you're not going to be smoking weed, you're going to have that free time to do it. And it's going to replace the high that maybe you would have gotten from smoking weed. The after the gym high feels so good. You feel accomplished for the day, feel like you can take on the world and tackle everything else. You walk a little taller, your chest is out a little, you feel a little stronger, and like it trains your discipline too. So when you go through tough times in recovery, because you're going to be able to face it and tackle it because you have that daily discipline training under your belt. The last thing you can do, and this is something I haven't talked about much, but I think is really important, is to go and volunteer. Start being of service. This is a huge way to stay sober long term, is getting out of yourself and being of help to other people without asking, without anything in return, without getting paid, etc. For myself, I volunteered at botanical gardens. I taught children at that class like about like butterflies and stuff. So it was pretty chill. I did that every single week. I helped out at meetings. I sponsored people. So I did a lot of things that I wasn't getting paid for. That was just a giving of my time because I had received so much too. The thing with people in addiction is they can be often very selfish. I was super selfish, and I'm still working on that today. The thing with self-centeredness is it takes you away from connection and love with other people. When you can learn to be altruistic and get out of your own head, get out of your own self, you find that you develop deeper relationships. People like you more, and you start to build that good karma. So I guess there is something you get from being of service. You get to start to build that good karma, and life just kind of, you find that is a little more generous back to you as well because you're giving your time to help others. It makes you feel really good too. It's can be difficult, I know, especially if you're very in your head and you've been focused on yourself for a long time. But the biggest thing I can say is try it. Try getting out there, volunteer once a week, soup kitchen, whatever it might be. I remember I helped someone in recovery move one time. There's just a lot of things you can do to be of service, and it's a magical thing that happens, but it's one of the pillars of recovery is service. And in doing that, you're going to find that you're going to have a much more fulfilling and enriched life. So with that, guys, those are 3 things that you can do with all your free time after quitting marijuana. I'm sure there's a list of 100 more. Comment down below any that I missed and that you really find valuable. I'll make another one on this soon about other things that you can do that are very helpful. As always, if you need help with marijuana recovery, you can schedule a consult with me down below. And with that, guys, we'll talk to you soon. Peace.